bullshit.
I agree.
Stupid goddamn waste of time. Ah!
So I stayed up to watch the Stranger Things finale, and it wasn't worth it. I thought it was just me, but after opening X, I was relieved I wasn't the only one to hate it. This isn't my usual content, but I have a lot to say about Stranger Things, so here's my vid. Don't get me wrong, I like the show. I personally think seasons 1 through 3 are peak television. The finale, however, disappointing. In my opinion, Stranger Things is one of those shows that gets worse as it goes on. My main accusation for the finale is that the Duffer Brothers played it too safe and the writing was trash. 1. Plot armor. Nobody dies. Yes, Eleven and Kali die, but no other liked or important character died. About that, it's a shame how they killed off the two women with powers whose arcs both lean heavily on pain and isolation rather than triumph. But I guess it makes sense for the storyline. I owe an apology to Kali, who I thought was an op. Fans speculated Hopper, Murray, Steve, Nancy. Nope, nobody. They came close though, like when Steve fell off the tower, but miraculously, Jonathan was ready to grab him. Or Nancy and the Mind Flayer. I'm not saying they should have died. I just find it annoying and corny how this happens multiple times, not to mention Holly. You're telling me Derek, a child, was stronger than Vecna, the final boss? The power of friendship, I guess. In the final fight against Vecna, you're telling me he was that easy to defeat all along? I get he was weakened, but they made the military seem like a bigger threat than Vecna. 2. The acting. This isn't strictly in the finale but the entire season 5. I feel like they low-key gave up acting.
He showed me a future, and
like I've seen many movies with Finn acting and he's good. But what was this?
Please don't do this. Please don't do this.
The acting wasn't all terrible. Some scenes were great, but others were unwatchable. The bad acting is so noticeable because of how amazing it used to be. However, some actors did stay so consistent, like the great Sadie, Gaten, David, Joe, etc. 3. Byler. I could say a lot about Byler, but it's not the subject of this video, so I'm gonna keep it short. I like both Mileven and Byler, so we'll talk about both. This isn't a ship war, just a writing issue. We all know this show frames Will's love for Mike as romantic over years. It's not fan delusion, it's clearly set up. Many were disappointed after Volume 2 when Will said Mike was his Tammy. Which, Duffer Brothers, those situations aren't even comparable. Robin barely knew Tammy versus this. So Will calling this all a crush in Volume 2 and getting over it in 24 hours was meh. I'm not an expert, but this definitely feels very queerbaity. I understand why people are upset. Why all this dragged out for seasons just for it to not happen. And this, please.
you still think we can be friends?
Friends? No thanks. Best friends.
The fact that Noah Schnapp had to ask the writers to add this scene in really says something about their writing ability. And the long pause after Mike's no.
No thanks. Best friends.
It feels like the writers were teasing, like it was done on purpose to poke at people for believing it was possible.
Are you alive?
They definitely waited last minute to keep as much of their audience as possible until the finale because they could have just shut Byler down like the creators of Wednesday did for their ships. All this made it feel so rushed and poorly written. Either way, rip Byler. You will always be famous. 4. Mileven. At least everyone is even, because Mileven bones too. Unfortunately, somehow Mileven was doing better all of a sudden after the Will situation. Feels like Will and his experience was used to uplift Mileven at the expense of Will's feelings. Anyways, Mileven's ending is unfortunate, but Eleven low-key dodged a bullet. I'm afraid Mike is sometimes just a bad friend.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mike. You called maybe a couple times. It's been a year, Mike. Meanwhile, Elle has like a book of letters from you. That's because she's my girlfriend, Will, and us. We're friends. We're friends. Well, we used to be best friends. Well, then maybe you should have reached out more. I don't know.
And a bad boyfriend.
I care for you so much.
Care. But you don't love me anymore.
Who said that I didn't?
You never say it.
I say it.
You can't even write it, Mike. From Mike.
Okay, Eleven, you're being ridiculous. What is this?
Some pointed out how he couldn't even say he loved I mean, in season 4 was his only confession to 11.
Mike, don't stop. Okay, you're the heart. Okay, remember that. You're the heart.
I love you for exactly who you are.
Additionally, I do think 11 is dead and Mike's story is just a way for him to cope. But on the off chance she isn't, Mileven is still bones because she could have taken Mike with her. Unless she just didn't want him. Anyways, Mileven, you will be missed. Rest in peace, Yell. A moment of silence for my favorite Mileven scene.
I've never felt like this, with anyone before. And, they do say it makes you crazy.
What makes you crazy?
You ever heard that term? Like the phrase, like makes you crazy, like the word.
Girlfriends?
No, not girlfriends.
Boyfriends?
No, not boyfriends either. It's like a feeling, or, like something, like old people say to each other sometimes.
Old people?
5. Loose ends. There are many plot holes and questions that are yet to be answered. Birthday Gate and November 6th were never explained. I wish we had more info on Henry's play and his past in general. Like in the flashback of him as a child in the cave, why was he after the man with the stone in the first place? I assume Dustin and Susie broke up, as well as Robin and Vicky. I think it also could have been cool to see what Murray is up to, how Hopper is chief of police again. Are Derek's parents still tied up in that barn just dead now? I also didn't like Max and Eleven's underwhelming reunion in Volume 2. How was Will happier to see Max than 11 was? And most importantly, the painting. Mike still having it on his wall in the final scenes. Bro probably still thinks it was commissioned by 11. 6. The epilogue. This was by far the worst part, in my opinion. I hated the graduation part, but that's a me problem cause I personally just find it very cringe. Same goes for the young adults reunion thing. The basement D&D game was also cringe, especially when they all join in and say I believe.
I believe.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly.
I also hate Will's random Pink Pony Club epilogue boyfriend. The writers really said here damn. And whatever they did to Will's hair here.
Okay.
Also, no wonder Will moved on from Mike so quickly. Cause, what was this?
Time to join your friends, sorcerer.
Just get it over with and roll.
What the fans are saying about Mike's ending is funny. 7. Things I liked. Enough being a negative Nancy. Here are things I enjoyed in the finale. I loved Holly's character really taking on the Holly the heroic role. Putting all the children before her to escape was super cute. I liked when Hopper was talking to 11 after he found out her plan. Hopper was my favorite character along with Mike and Holly, so I liked Hopper and 11's flashbacks. As well as the Mileven flashbacks.
Well, my name's Mike, short for Michael. Maybe we can call you L, short for 11.
I liked Lumac's endgame, and Hopper talking to Mike. Hopper lost both of his daughters. I feel like he was acting like he had moved on so that Mike would accept it too. Here are other moments I liked. Anyways, if it wasn't for the stupid plot armor, the corny end, the Byler and Mileven bones, and overall bad writing, it'd be decent. Let's just pretend the show ended here. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to share your thoughts about the finale in the comments.
Please don't do this. Please don't do this.